Hello everyone, DevOps Codex. In this video, today is day 5 and today we are going to discuss about the DevOps related interview questions that is very important for managing the remote system. Okay, this is part 1. It is totally related to how to manage your remote system. Whenever we are talking about the remote system is nothing but if you have a server, okay, let me show you 1 second. Yeah, if you have a server, okay, and remotely you are connecting that server from your local, okay, and managing whatever things you want to do on this server via SSH or some other protocol, that is that way we are managing. And the remote server would be anywhere, like in your data center and or your cloud environment. Okay, so we will discuss each and everything related to this. Whatever questions will come in interview, we will talk about that. So first question will be, what is the remote administration, and explain it. Okay, so remote administrator means administration of server which are located remotely. Located remotely in the sense, suppose you launch was one EC2 instance on AWS and you are connecting from your local, then that EC2 instance is the remote server, and locally you are connecting that the terminal via the SSH. Server are usually placed in data center, like books arranged in a rack. Okay, so so when we are connecting the EC2 instance, EC2 instance is also located some data centers. Okay. At the time of launching our EC2 instance, we are selecting the regions, Mumbai region or Singapore, North Virginia. That means that server is located on that location's data centers. Okay. To access the remote system, tool like remote desktop, command line tools such as Putty or WinSCP we are using. Git bash also we are using. If you are on Linux system, then directly we are connecting via the terminal. And remote desktop provides the GUI based interface, while tool like Putty allow to command line management. To connect, you need to server name. So for connecting the server, what we need, the first we need the server name or IP address. If server name is associated with any uh, any DNS, then that case you will provide the server name, okay, and IP address or a IP address of the server, and port number we have to define, okay, along with username and password. Or if you are using key based authentication, in that case we have to pass the private key. So what is the SSH? SSH stand for secure shell. It's designed to provide the secure access to remote system by encrypting the session and offering the better authentications. On Windows, you can tool like Putty to access the remote system using the SSH. SSH is the protocol that facilitates the secure communication between two systems using the client server architecture. It is commonly used to connect the remote system and perform the administrator task. By default, SSH uses a password authentication mechanism and operates on port 22. All the data transmitted over the SSH is encrypted. Means, as the name suggests, SSH is the secure shell. Means all the data transmitted over the SSH is encrypted. And what is the default port of the SSH? 22. If you want, you can change the custom port. If whenever we are doing the server hardening, in that case, we are preferring to change the SSH port, because everyone knows the SSH, the server is running, server can connect on port 22. But if you are changing the port, no one knows. For that, we have to explicitly pass the port number. Okay, and whatever administrator task, in the sense, if you are talking about the administrator tasks, first task user management, group management, file management, and package management with the help of package managers. Okay, if you want to host your application on top of any server, like Tomcat based Java based application, web server if you are using Tomcat, or if you want to run any container, or lamp stack based applications, those things administrator is managing. As a DevOps engineer, we are managing and installing, configuring, and troubleshooting those things if any issue is coming. What is the telnet? Telnet is also a very important command for the troubleshooting purpose, and also we can connect the remote server with the help of telnet. Telnet is the method for connecting and administrating the remote system from a local machine, and it is a older program available on most network capable operating system. Telnet transmit all the data including the username and password in plain text and making it insecure. Anyone with the access of the network can intercept the data using the speaking technique, and due to the lack of security, SSH is preferred over the telnet for the remote connections. So most of the cases we are using SSH because SSH is secure and telnet is not secure. Okay, whatever data we will transfer, suppose you are connecting to any server and checking list of the file or directory, so it will be transferred the data, and that data, like if it is not secure, then anyone can intercept in between. Okay, so next question is, what is the difference between telnet and SSH? The first difference is the port number. The telnet runs on port 23 and SSH is run on port number 22. And but any network hacker may see the transmitted data in case of the telnet, but in case of SSH no one can do because it is encrypted one. And telnet data transfer is non encrypted, it is simple and plain text. If you are talking about the security, telnet is not secure, and SSH is the secure. A trust label can't be trusted, but in case of SSH we can trust. And if you're talking about the syntax, for syntax is like telnet followed by the IP name, and SSH, what we are doing, we are providing the username and followed by the host name, at the rate host name. Next question is, in how many ways we can connect to a remote host using the SSH? So there are two ways. First one is the CLI, like command line interface, like we are using putty, WinSCP, or any terminal. In that case, we are using the CLI. And second one is the graphical user uh, interface. Open the WinSCP server, VNC server, and provide the remote host name and username and password. It will be connect in GUI format. What is the requirement for SSH? If anyone is asking, like, what is the requirement for SSH? First of all, we should know the address of that remote server. Address in the sense host name or IP address. Second one, the system username and password. If you are authenticating via the password, then username and password we need. And third one, the proper network connectivity between your local to remote server. Then how you will check the connectivity between your server and local system? With the help of telnet, IP address, and port number, it will be check the connectivity, whether if you are able to connect via that port or not. And next one will be open SSH package for SSH configuration. Locally SSH should be available, then you can connect. Next question is, like, how many ways we can connect to a remote system? There are multiple ways we can connect to the server. First one is the telnet, second one is the SSH, third one is the R login, fourth one is the RCP, fifth one is the FTP, sixth one is the SCP, and next one is the SFTP, and next last one is the TFTP. These are the protocols, they are running on different port. Okay, so might be in some interview, some interviewers ask, like, what is the port of the SSH, what is the port of FTP, what is the port of the telnet. So we have to remember those port numbers, and these are the also way to connect the remote server. But most of the cases we are using the SSH connection because that is the secure one. Next question is, what is the syntax for SSH? Everyone knows. In case of EC2, what we are doing, we are connecting via the PEM key, or we are converting in PPK format. Okay, SSH hyphen I and username followed by the host name or IP address. And if you are using uh, password, username and password, then directly you can access SSH username followed by the host name. It will be prompt the password, ask the password. So we can pass the password as a command line argument. Next question is, how to configure the SSH with key based authentication like SSH trusting. So SSH key based authentication allows the access to remote system without a password. But in this case also we can assign the passphrase while creating the SSH key. So SSH, for generating the SSH key in local system, what we have to do, just just create the SSH hyphen keygen like your keys. Okay, it will be generate two kind of key. One is the public key and second one is the private key, and that will be default. That location will be slash home slash user home directory, and inside that SSH one hidden folder it will create, or directory it will create inside that IDRSA and idrsa.pub. These key will be available. So what we have to do next, we have to copy that SSH key to that user so that it will be uh, it will be stored in that file. So what we will copy, we will copy the public key on server. Okay, on the remote system verify the keys authentication. So with the help of this command, like we can cat it. So where it will be copy, it will be copy in authorized keys. Okay, inside the SSH directory. So whatever user we are, suppose we have 5 users in your team, and you want to use one common user like DevOps or Linux user or something. Okay, some generic user is there. So what you will do, you will create the SSH key for each and every local user's local machine and copy those keys inside the authorized keys. Okay, public key and private key will help us to make the authentication successful. Okay, and ensure that the private keys remains on both local system, and locally both keys should be available like public and private key. In that way it will be match the authentication. And next will be the test the connection SSH hyphen I, or if you are, if your key is inside this uh, directory like local one by default one, then if you are not passing the key, first of all it will go to your home directory, and inside the SSH folder it will check the key. If key is available then fine. If key is not available, it will ask like please define the SSH key path, something kind of, you will face the error. First time it will ask the password, subsequent connections it will not require the password if public key and private keys match. Okay, the next question is how to prevent the remote logging for the root user via the SSH. Means if you want to prevent the root login, no one can log in as a root from the remote uh, to the remote system. So what we can do, we have a configuration file that is stored. Everyone knows like slash etc is the path where all the configuration files is stored. Inside that we have SSH folder or directory. Inside that ssd underscore config file is there. Inside that you have to change the permit root login as to no and save the file. And what you have to do, you are changing the configuration. After changing any configuration we have to restart our service. So in case of SSH we have a service like SSHD. So whatever OS you are using, version using, based on that you can run the command like systemctl restart sshd. or you can use the reload. And to enable the SSH on reboot label, what we can do, systemctl enable the SSHD. So this is the way, in this way we can prevent the root logging from a remote login. Okay, so these are the very basic and important question that might be asked in interview. In this is the part 1, and second part I'm going to cover the uh, like scenario based and high level, some advanced level SSH related interview questions. So thank you guys, thank you for watching. And if you like this video, please click on like button. And if you haven't subscribed my channel for this kind of interesting content, try to subscribe my channel. Thank you guys, thank you so much, have a good day, bye.